Hi. Let me straighten out my collar here. I'm fancy. I have a collar going. Hey, first in the fish room is our buddy Griffin in the live chat, Griffin Fish Room in the house. And people are beginning to pop in, and that's great. Today's theme, of course, is about Karen. There are lots of Karens these days. By the way, when did this whole Karen thing? Anthony's fishy friends, welcome to the live stream. When did this whole Karen thing come up? Daryl Deemer. What's up? How are you, sir? Saw a great picture of your fam. I was clipped off when I saw it. I had to go to one of my former employees, who's remained a really good friend, got married today, and of course, it was a virtual wedding. Because they're in a place called Chicago. So it was nice. That was the first wedding I've attended since becoming divorced. So there you go. So it's so when did this whole thing about Karen come up? All right, Karen wants you to be watching Mobb Guppy. That's it's obviously it's true. It was tough to come up with a wacky news story this week to sort of intersperse with my little themes. Mainly because this week sucked. Lots of bad news, right? That's terrible. All right, let's get off of that. Let's complain about Karen and how she wants it going through. And by the way, people said, "Where are you going to come up with new content in your page?" And I'm going to do a couple of videos here. One of them is kind of an interesting thing. I have 10-gallon aquariums with guppies. David Samsel, how are you? And I have other tanks, obviously, you guys have seen those. But I found something really interesting. They have the same filters, same filtration, same temperature. They all have a differing amount of fish in them. And I have one Chewy. Welcome to the live stream. So I went and this one aquarium, all of a sudden the water's a little, I guess the best way to describe it is cloudy. And I don't know why. They get fed the same things. Everything's the same. One aquarium. So I'm going to try to figure that out. Maybe I just have to do a bigger water change than normal on that, because they've gotten the same water from the same source. And again, I just the fish are happy, fish are healthy. So who am I? I'm a simple man in Joplin, Missouri, who keeps some fish. Now, is everything beginning to get normal for you guys? Things are loosening up in Missouri. They extended phase 1. We're in the phase 1 reopening until June 15th. So I will tell you that you go out into public and relate to other people, like at a restaurant or something, which I've done a couple of times. And I'll tell you what, the poor waiter and waitress, they have like half the tables available. Hey, Renee. Hey, fantastic. Glad you're here live. And so the process, they have half the tables. So I go in, and it's just me because, freshly divorced. Really not into the mingling and singling thing yet. I'm sort of letting my ladies' man skills on the shelf as I go through there. Well, you go into a restaurant as one person. Let me tell you something. They're not all that happy because they've got to serve you, and so I make sure that I leave a little bit of an extra tip. So I left a 25% tip. So that was good. Let's see what's going on in the fish room. Yeah, I've got fish aquariums ready to go up. I've got to set up more breeders. I've got I've been busy with organizing stuff and getting stuff in place. I swear to you, this whole thing, and I don't know if you guys have experienced this or not. This whole process of being, socially distant, self quarantining, only going out for things you really need, all that sort of stuff. At least for me, and this may not be for you. I swear to you, I get less done. I get less done around the house. I get less done on anything. And there's really no reason why that should be. No reason at all. We should all be getting more stuff done. And my guess is you guys have experienced the same thing that I've experienced. So that's that's one of the things that I've been watching very, very carefully and keeping a close eye on, as things get going on. You're still in red status, David? Yeah. My brother and his wife are locked at home. My sister and her husband lives in Chicago, and they've opened up Illinois opened up a little bit. They've opened up just a little bit, and my brother-in-law had elective surgery on Friday. So, or on Thursday. So, yeah, that's and if you look at the stats on this stuff about there's a point where is it just me here on the whole deal? They told us originally is 15 days, stay at home, social distance to slow the spread, right? Hey, there you go, Renee. Yep. My sister's lived in Chicago twice now. Military life. I've never lived in Chicago. I like Chicago. It's so the whole process here of getting stuff done and getting back to normalcy. Yeah, you know what, Chewy? We're probably gonna have a little bit of that, but when we originally closed down in March, at least in the United States, and I don't know what the deal is in Canada, we were told that we had to shut down for 15 days or so because we had to slow the spread, number one. Number two, we were not prepared for the hospitals to be overrun. Number three is that we need ventilators. We need the equipment to fight this disease. Okay, sign me up. I'm in. All right. So after that, after we got done with that, which is fine and dandy, we go in, and now it's been 2 months, and we've slowed the spread of the disease, and there's no way for us all to be safe at all times. They just canceled the final Guppy event for the year, which was going to be in Chicago. I was planning on going in October because my sister's there. I can show up, and Bolo can boss her dog around. It's all good. Bolo's here, by the way. He's not in my lap. I got up. I ate lunch just a few minutes ago. He got down and decided he wanted to go sleep in the back bedroom, which is fine. Hey, Streetwise, welcome to the live stream. So, yeah, the whole process of this and the process of going out and growing. Big J's Fish Keeper, welcome. Welcome to the live stream. I hope everybody's able to get out soon. And I think we've slowed down. I have a feeling that, whether that now they're going to be able to test everybody, they're getting to that point. I have a feeling nearly all of us have been exposed to this thing. And if you develop the antibodies, you develop the antibodies. Hey, Doug Gray in the house. Doug, I really enjoyed your video that you released earlier today on your pingus. And by the way, I'm fascinated with the glass belly fish. He has glass belly pingus. You'll want to see that. You'll want to see that. That's a good one. And so it was a good time. And I was like watching while doing all sorts of junk around here. So the only joke I really caught was really at the beginning, and which is sad. I didn't get all the jokes because I was like popping in, seeing them, etc. Yeah, seeing the eyeballs in the females, fascinating, absolutely fascinating. And by the way, for those of you who are not into the guppies, and the whole guppy thing, the interesting thing about the guppies is what you can do with them genetically. Select pet. Kids want in the pool, building a deck. Hey, it's no problem, select pet. Anytime, here's my world. Anybody kind enough to come and join me in my live stream for however long it is, it's all good with me. I wish you'd be here the whole show. But guess what? I know everybody's busy. Everybody's got a lot of junk going on. I went to the natural foods grocers to get natural food items this morning, and I had to pick up treats for Bolo because one of his treats he was almost out of. So I did that. I've got to go. There's a great shortage in my area of Diet Dr. Pepper. Alice in Norway, how are you? My brother, by the way, Alice, you'll love this, sent me an application to join the Sons of Norway. V-Stag in the house. All good. All good. I really appreciate having everybody here. And but the thing about guppies is this. And again, we're all in the hobby for different reasons. You don't necessarily need to see it as I see it. Because what interests me may not interest you all that much. Well, in my little world, and again, I'm a simple man. In my little world, I like the idea of the genetics. I like the idea of going through. It's like I'm working on developing my own stamped strain. I think that's kind of a neat thing to do. I may never agree with it. I may never reach it, but there you go. So, David, you're new to guppies. You have blue Moscow, snakeskin, blue cobras, some other varieties. Excellent. Ooh. $1 a gallon going on. In fact, I have to write down, because it's it would be 2 weeks from today, the schedule for the next meeting of the Northwest Arkansas Aquarium Society. I can't wait to go and attend. And the deal is I'll have to have more and more aquariums set up because one of the guys there is a former IFGA guy. He isn't currently a member. And he has some really, really nice albino reds. And he and I are swapping males. I'm giving him a couple of Roebuck red males. He's giving me uh, a couple of the albino males. So we're going to swap a couple of males. But I have to get those males into a couple of things. Can it still be considered a dollar per gallon sale when the tanks are empty? It's kind of profound, Doug. Kind of profound. Alice, I want into the pool too. I would like to get into the pool. I can't go to a public pool. It's I just look at it as like a place of germs. I'm a little bit not terrible. Here's my two things. I'll share with you my two weaknesses besides being devastatingly handsome. My two weaknesses are this. I'm a little bit of a hypochondriac, and I'm a little bit agoraphobic. Not in either way, not to the point. I'm not OCD, but I'm a little bit of a hypochondriac. Yeah, 55s are real nice, David. I've got one of those. I like the 65 I got from PetSmart. I think that's really terrific. Really terrific. Yeah, now Select Pets being profound. I'm not all that profound. All I'm saying is that Karen wants you to watch Mobb Guppy. And I'm having again my Diet Coke because of the great Diet Dr. Pepper shortage of 2020. I've been to Sam's Club every week for the last few weeks, and they've not had Diet Dr. Pepper. I was there yesterday, and when we're done with the live stream today, I'm going to run out and go and do that. So that's one of the things that I'm going to go and get done. So I'm looking forward to that very, very much. So that was good. Nice and tasty. Nice and tasty. So, yeah, it's all about getting stuff in. Yeah, you see, there you go, Select Bet. Doctors are in high demand. Yep. I got a nephew in med school. First year of med school. He's been pressed into service, but he's in Manhattan. He's in New York City. Actually, he's in the Bronx, but he's working at one of the hospitals. So there you go. Alice, that's one of the saddest things I ever heard. But you do have King Oscar sardines, the official sardine of anyone who's Norwegian. Yeah, 55-gallon, the metal ones. Yeah, that's the whole metal edges. It's my first couple of aquariums were like that. It was great. Do you know what? I have not tried the Dr. Pepper cream soda, Renee. I have not, and I'll look for that. And it's I'll tell you what, Select Pet, my deal is try something new. I try things new all the time. Like I picked up the other day, a couple of weeks ago at the Natural Grocers. Now, you guys are going to throw up when I'm going to tell you this. Is that I picked up vegan beef jerky. Vegan beef jerky. So I figured, well, how good can this be? It's delicious. It's fantastic. So people, I opened it up at work, and I was eating around work, and people were freaking out. No, you're not. I said, here, take a piece. And one of the coworkers said, that's actually better than some of the beef jerky I have. So there you go. So yeah, so so the process here of keeping fish, we all have different things. We all have different goals with it. I appreciate everybody in the hobby. It's beef like jerky, but it's delicious. Um, and and the deal is with guppies is that you can do, if breeding fish is sort of what you're interested in, if you have kind of an interest in genetics, you have an interest in that type of thing. And the deal is, we all have those things that go through. For me, I've always considered myself kind of an amateur geneticist. I've always found that very fascinating, very interesting. From the time, like in elementary school, where they had to study Mendel, who developed what to do with the peas, how to make peas great. And we may not have understood genetics, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. But human beings have been working with genetics. Yeah, by the way, Doug, I have not gone the orange vanilla Coke. I've seen it, and I like Coca-Cola. I like orange, I like vanilla, but I just have looked at it going, I can't do it. But you're right, I probably should try it out. Try something new. Yeah, I like the orange creamsicle ice cream. That was good. Okay, if I see it, I'll get it. I'll try it out. Yeah, so our goals in fish keeping are all a little bit different. And because of that, it goes in and it creates a unique opportunity for all of us, really a unique opportunity to go out and learn more about this hobby, to develop things with it, to make to go out and people work with cichlids, the discus people, and the angelfish people. Those are pretty amazing. Mendel made peas great. Yeah, the bloating peas. Yeah. The idea here, though, is that we've been, selectively breeding cattle, horses, selectively breeding corn and lettuce, and for thousands of years. We have we have this horse that runs real fast. We're gonna breed to another fast running horse, and yeah, and you know what, Renee? There's something to be said about that. The deal is about the pure strains is that the process is it that a lot of people can take a pure strain and they can go out and make it a little bit better. For instance, I'll give you an example. Our buddy Doug Gray and the Roebuck Reds. Doug, if I'm quoting you properly here, when you started with the Roebuck Reds, it was not the shining example of what that strain is supposed to be. But you got that thing looking pretty damn good. Well, the pure strain, that type of thing, the process that you get the same size and the same type of thing is going from there. And select pet, you're exactly correct. Dogs and wolves are, same species, but lap dogs do not look much to wolves to humans for selective breeding. Absolutely correct. And with wolves, it's all different types of and oh, you had to breed the black streaks out of the tail. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I've turned that on, David, and I and probably should try it a little bit more than I do. No, and Renee, I knew that. Again, it's just whatever floats anybody's boat. It's just for me. I like the pure strains that I have. I like playing with them. I like improving them. And so there you go. The interesting thing, by the way, about the domesticated dog, you know what the domesticated dog and COVID-19 have in common? They came from China. They've done genetic scopes, and most domestic dog breeds trace back to China one way or another, which is interesting. And so they must have had a different type of genus of wolf back then. And obviously there are dogs that developed in Africa and Europe and around the world, but it's a fascinating deal. Yeah, it's a heck of a deal. No, David Sapsel, it's good to know that doesn't do the algae thing. My deal is, again, my wacky schedule. I'm going to bed now when it's light out. Going to bed when it's light out, which is cray cray and absolutely crazy. So whenever you can go to bed when the light is out, that's a heck of a deal. And so I'm even last night I was like really getting tuckered out, and I look at the thing going, well, I need to go and be crazy and have a good time, and yeah. Oh, it's 8:22. Oh, that's nice. Then I got to bed and I started watching riots. That was nice. That was a kick in the pants. Matthew, more cichlids. Welcome to the live stream. Great having you here, my friend. Oh, you're in that place, Alice, where it's light 24 hours a day in beautiful North land. Excellent, Anthony. Good to have you back in the house. It goes down really late and comes up. Now, do you go in that like Alaska, near the North Pole stuff there, Alice, where it's light 24 hours a day? You're not that far north of Norway. Okay. All right. I don't know where that line is. Yeah, you see, David, you have something called a good LED light. I've got cheapo LED lights. I've got Beams Works. Yeah, I went crazy. Well, and Chewy, it does. genetics for any pure strain, whatever it is that I was at a pet store that sold dogs. And these are quote unquote purebred dogs. And I had Bolo with me. And they had a 2.5-month-old Pomeranian that was bigger than Bolo. Okay. That puppy was already about 10 pounds. Pomeranians, if you're going to keep it into, fish and all that sort of stuff, or dogs for Pomeranians, they're really not supposed to be above like 7 pounds. And so, this thing was bigger than Bolo. Well, the deal is that degeneration comes in like with a guppy line or with what have you, if you're not paying attention to it, if you're not, if you're not pulling out bad males and inferior females. Otherwise, you will begin to get a less beautiful fish. Oh, you have a silky terrier and you want a Dalmatian. Now, Matthew Moore, I will tell you about Dalmatians. They run, run, run. Yeah, that's a good question, Chewy, because domesticated strains of fish, getting them into it. Oh, you've had one before, Matthew? Yeah, that domesticated strains of fish, obviously discus. They have learned with guppies because there are feral populations of guppies almost anywhere in the world, quite frankly. And some introduced, etc. And generation after generation, those guppies would go back to their wild form. It's sort of like with dogs, that being the place over there. Yeah, the deal is though is that Pomeranians that I have, that those dogs are known for being real yappy. And while Bolo is somewhat yappy, but it's only when he wants something. He wants to eat. He wants to go out. He wants to play. But he doesn't sit at the door barking all day. I'll put him out in the backyard, keep an eye on him, because there are something called hawks around. Even though at 7 pounds, he's probably a little big for them. Dogs next door go nuts barking at him. Well, he's deaf, but he doesn't bark. He doesn't bark a lot. So there you go. Yeah, but Chewy, a lot of these, even if they're, even if they're quote unquote pet store lines, a lot of these breed true, and and going from there. So, well, Renee, there's a lot to it. Is that the Bolo's breeder, told us to socialize him with other people. And so when he was really little, I would just hand him to people. Not even people that asked for it. I would just put him in their hands. So he got touched by a lot of different people. So yeah, and Chewy, that's what happens. We have a lot of invasive species and feral guppies, invasive guppies in different water locations. Not unusual. It's not good, but it's not unusual. So, but there, it's when I put my water feature in, that's the koi pond. I'll put some guppies in there as well, and I'll only make it one strain of guppies, and let's see what happens long term. Yeah, I'll put in fancy tailed. Two or three pairs of Roebuck Reds and see what happens long term. I can do that. Yep, Tom Jones. He's still with us. Keith Richards, still alive. Yeah, but and I'll tell you the other thing that I brought up before, Renee, and you being a dog trainer goes from that, is that one of the problems, when, and believe me, I'm not discouraging anyone from adopting, uh, Heinz 57 mutt puppy or adult dog, is that every dog breed traditionally was bred for certain behavior. They were bred for, they were bred to hunt. They were bred to smell. They were bred to run. They were bred all sorts of different reasons. Like the sight hounds. They're bred to see the prey and run after it. So every dog, some dogs are shepherds, some dogs are protection type of thing. Well, when you get a dog that's a purebred dog, if it's well bred, the behavior is going to be what the behavior is going to be. And you know ahead of time what to train for and what to do. For instance, Bolo, I knew that they were slow to toilet train. Little dogs are. That they're yippy and yappy. That they can be possessive of their owners and unfriendly to people, and can bite a little bit. And some of the little teeny dogs, that's the deal with them. So, Bolo, it's both of his parents were show champions, which only meant that he behaves like a Pomeranian should behave. He was on the edge of too big to be a show dog. And so he behaves exactly how a Pomeranian is going to behave. He has a little bit of a bossiness to him. That's the way they are. He's not particularly yippy. Not he's not that possessive. He's pretty doggone loyal. Yeah. Hey, by the way, who's here? Want to come up? All right. Hey, everybody. Bolo in the house. I'll put him on the screen here. Yeah, like this. There we go. I took him for a walk about an hour ago. Then he went to the bedroom and went to sleep and decided he wanted to be petted. So, and he's going to fall asleep in my lap. So that's nice. Coincidence, Doug. Coincidence. Yeah, they're slow to toilet train, and I'll tell you why. Is because it's tougher to see them make a mistake. You're dealing with a bigger dog. There's good movement into what's going to happen. With a little dog like Bolo, when he was a pound and a half, 2 pounds, tough to tell. So takes a little while longer usually, and again depends on the breed. Bolo's very smart, and let me tell you, his only besides being a little bossy, but he's only bossy when he has to poop. he can hold his urine for a long time. He's pretty good with that. But when he wants to poop, he wants to poop. You better take him out now, because he wants to go now. And yeah, big dogs can drag you around, Chewy. That's right. Um, for my next dog, because I've been on the waiting list for a female Pomeranian forever. I mean, it's gonna be soon. It's gonna be 2 years, and so I have decided that if I get the female Pom, I'll be in business. If not, I'm gonna move back to my childhood dog, but I won't do it until Bolo is passed on. Um, you see, well, Alice, here's the deal: we chase rabbits on this thing. We talk fish. We'll go into music. We'll go into dogs. We'll go into all sorts of stuff. But this is from genetics. We went down the rabbit trail. So he so my childhood dog that I grew up with was a Brittany, um, which is a pointing bird dog. They're very smart. They're very eager to please. Not necessarily a good guard dog, even though they'll bark and stuff like that. So, yeah, if I don't get the female Pom, I'll probably do that. But part of me has also thought of doing, uh, a Doberman, mainly because I'm not doing a lot of hunting or anything like that. So, so that's sort of the deal right there. So, but yeah, with genetics, it's all about now. The deal is you get, some of the strains of guppies or strains of different types of fish. You think that, they're very, if you read any of the genetic paper, any of the genetic papers done on guppies, it's a very complicated read. And, so the idea that, okay, you breed a red guppy with a snakeskin guppy, hoping to get red snakeskins. Good luck. You may come up with some fish that begin to look like that, but then it's just then you have to selectively breed generation after generation after generation, hoping to get the traits that you desire. Yeah, the color wheel, absolutely. So the idea here is that just because you breed one fish with another does not necessarily mean I think that you have to have a goal for what you're looking for. Like Renee's doing something on her deals that she's bred a couple of different types of double swords into single sword females, and she's doing this as her guppy prawn project. And she's probably gonna end up with a lot of different sword females. So there you go. It's yeah, that's not good. Backyard chickens and dachshunds. Yeah, and they became lunch for the dachshunds, streetwise. Red, blue, green, purple. Yeah, and it's yeah, there's some those are you have a dachshund or a chihuahua, Alice. Probably not a dachshund. One of my neighbors has a dachshund, and the dachshund made a mistake of running at Bolo aggressively. Um, Bolo can take care of business. That dachshund was running away, and Bolo didn't have to touch it. Oh, a Russian toy terrier. That's right. I should have remembered that, Alice. And yeah, red showing up with blue dragons as well. So there you go. Um, yeah, the whole process of red and what that means and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, pretty fascinating. Pretty fascinating all the way around. So, again, I'm fascinated with the whole process here of going out and doing the crosses and trying to get them to breed truer, trying to fix the little things that need to be fixed. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that's a breed of dog, Rottweiler, that has a very bad reputation. Not fair. If it's a well-bred dog, um, I have one of my high school buddies had a Rottweiler, and she was a sweet dog. Her parents were German imports. Uh, were and she was absolutely gorgeous. And I remember I was hanging out with him and his daughter. We were watching NCAA basketball. I wake up at 2 a.m. He's asleep on the couch. The 8-year-old, she's asleep on the other couch. I'm in the recliner sleeping. And as I wake up, there's a Rottweiler, a 90-pound Rottweiler, leaning over, just going ah, 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 and drooling, and the whole bit is very cute. And so I gave her a piece of cheese as I showed myself to the door. I didn't wake them up. My buddy was married to a nurse. Hey, Chris, what's up? Welcome to the live stream. Great having you all here. 13 here, 14 thumbs up. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate your support. Really appreciate your support all the way around. Bolo's here. He's asleep in my lap. Totally out. I mean, he's like limp, just. Yes, David. Yes, we are a little bit long. Yeah, Bolo doesn't do that anymore, Anthony, since he's totally deaf. It was. Yep, I sure do, Chris. Doug Gray does as well. I don't know if they're regular. I've got a couple of different varieties, so. Doug's got a lot more than I do. Hey, I'm going to tell you, on Monday, I have my avatar built for Monday, and it's very music themed. Very music themed. So I look forward to you seeing it. At Chewy, it'll be up there. And hopefully you will enjoy it. Hopefully you will enjoy it. And yeah, if you enjoy it, you'll hopefully it'll be relatively good as the day goes on. Fishkeeper Cole, what's up? Welcome to the live stream. Yep, you see, there you go. Well, you can go on the channel. I have different stuff going on there. Big City Bettas, how's it going? Hey, Chris, you can look on my channel. I have what I have, or you can drop me a note at mob.guppy@gmail.com, and I'll tell you what I've got and see if that meets what you're after. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Again, the fun person I am. Last night, I did stay up till after 9 because I made a mistake by watching some of some of the riots. As Anderson Cooper was trying to get in touch with the anger on the streets, people were had breached the front doors of CNN. So there you go. Yeah, it's so Bolo is funny. Is that I had a cheat meal a week or so ago, pizza. The guy knocked on the door, and Bolo was in the back room sleeping. Nothing. When he was younger, he'd be at the door barking like in 2 seconds. Anybody came close to the door. The only time he's made a real reaction since I moved into this house, Alice, who knows? I think it's just crazy people. Um, let's see here. An agate, Big City Bettas. Did you get an agate? Or did you get a rare purple jade? Yeah, no, I didn't see the Carpenters. I know that Karen Carpenter died because she didn't eat, which is very sad. Not my style of music though. I'm much more of a Megadeth, Metallica, rah, 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 Dead Kennedys. So I'm a little more aggressive. Yeah, Purple Rock. You see, this is where this live stream goes. We've now gotten into talking about collectible rocks. And by the way, Big City Bettas, thank you, because it takes us into the 10th rabbit hole we've gone down. Let's see. Chewy keeps trying to get me on the music thing, but go from there. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. And hey, no problem, Anthony. You lurk. It's don't look at it. Believe me, I know that I'm a distraction for good people. So, what do you guys have going on today besides stuff in your fish room? I'm gonna mow my lawn tomorrow morning. I've got to do what? Skinwalker Ranch, and I can't wait. That's such a good show. All right, Chewy, but I just know it's you just if it get this goes down the music thing, we're always looking to you. So just realize it's sort of like Eddie Haskell. If Beaver Cleaver did something bad, I and Eddie was anywhere around, they blamed Eddie or Larry Mondello. That's funny, Fish Keeper Cole. Alpaca. I have a buddy of mine who has several alpacas. His wife thought it would be a good idea they could sell the hair off of them. And my buddy goes, "Yeah, my wife does nothing with the alpacas." He goes, "Guess who's caring for the alpacas?" He goes, "Me." I said, "Well, don't you love the alpacas?" He goes, "They're stupid." He goes, "But they're cute," and he goes, "But they're dumb as a box of rocks." Um, I'll tell you what, my sister, my sainted sister, because my parents are dead, so I can't really joke with my mom anymore. I used to just, come up with jokes for my mom. Just, so I kept joking with my sister that I was going to get a face tattoo. If you have a face tattoo, no problems. But for whatever reason, my sister doesn't like face tattoos. So thus, I just said, well, I don't have any tattoos. Renee's doing outside tubs. Doug Gray, are you doing outside tubs? Let's see, Valley Fish, he's not here today. He's doing them. Select Pet, you doing them? Lots of people are doing outdoor tubbing. So I had a guy at work draw a small symbol of pi on my forehead. And I kept texting my siblings. My siblings live nowhere close. They, so I have this thing, the symbol of pi right there, and I should put it on one of my avatars for an upcoming video. And my sister said that she about had a heart attack when she saw it. Griffin Fish Room, head of the game on the summer tubs. She couldn't believe it. And she goes, you didn't. I said, don't you like it? Why the pi symbol? Because it's a Jewish tradition. It's a symbol for God. It never ends. And so my sister calls. She goes, "You didn't. Please tell me you didn't." And I said, "Why? What's the problem?" No, you didn't. You didn't. And I said, "No, I didn't." And but I was pulling this joke for 6 weeks, 6 week long joke. So that's important. Whenever you can go out and do a joke or two, have a laugh. Life is good. That's what I'm about. I'm all about having a laugh. And whenever you can bring a laugh into it, that is my goal of life, trying to at least have some fun. Because let's face it, right now, there's not a lot of fun going on, everybody. So let's go out and let's have a little fun, right? And I think that's the thing that we all have to pay full attention to, because we really deserve to have really a good time and have some fun. And so that's sort of my ethos at the moment, is to go and have fun, and so that we can all have at least a little bit of a laugh as we've going through some, obviously, I don't know how crazy this can be, is what's happened in a lot of our cities, and also what is happening in with coronavirus. Not a lot of fun, everybody. We're not having a lot of fun this year. It's been kind of a crazy year. Next month, locusts. Next month, locusts. Yeah, that's the beauty. Yep, David, absolutely. And yet there's no Diet Dr. Pepper to be found. No. You never seen a green grass guppy in person, Doug? Nearby. Murder hornets. I love them. I love murder hornets. They seem great. They seem quite charming. So I may have to just watch Tiger King over again. I almost wore my Tiger King T-shirt today, and I don't know why. I just figured I am going. Well, maybe they should see me in a collar. I did it for you. Dedicated to you, all of you. By the way, I'm gonna go and give a Richards Tanks. Welcome to the live stream. Okay, I'm gonna throw out a fish tube channel criticism. I've done it mainly as a joke, but if I see another fish tube avatar to watch a video that's like this, I think I'll scream. It's overused, overplayed. Something died. Oh no, a bad day in the fish room. Is it really a bad, unless for a tank breaking or something like that? There aren't a lot of bad days in the fish room. They're all pretty doggone cool. Pretty doggone cool all the way around. It and I don't care what Karen says. So and if you go through and you read how a lot of people who keep pure lines will occasionally for outcross abilities will go and mate to a genetically similar fish. For instance, there's one of the IFGA guys, I won't say who it is. It's not Doug Gray, who has half black blues and half black purples, which are amazing fish. And this guy's half black blues came from his half black purples. So he developed a line around it. Well, he, every so many generations, he he breeds a half black purple into the line to add vigor, as the Kennedys would say. And so that's sort of the the white clouds, the thing. Oh, Bolo's moved over. It looks like he wants to eat. Hopefully, he isn't going to throw up on the couch. It's not going to be the case. So again, it's just so people will go in and they'll breed across, and they'll line breed, and so you don't get purples and the blues or what have you, and breed those into the system and adds a little outside genetics. Some people also do this, and this is sort of what I've done with my fish room, is that I have, and Doug Ray, you may have your thoughts on this as well, is that I have started 2 separate lines of the Roebuck Reds, and so I want them to be very distinct from each other, so I can go across, every 4 or 5 generations, and let them, let them create what, let them add vigor to the line. Now the vigor is already there, is currently there, but another generation or two, all of a sudden I may have things that are not quite looking as good. Well, I'm gonna have to fix it. And you can fix it by outcrossing to another line, but if you outcross in the same line, you get the same colors, the same, hopefully, the same genetic code, but you've just gone out and you've added vigor to it. You've added, they come from the same genetics, same type of stuff. They've been outcrossed they've been breeding apart. The genetics are going to be a little bit different. Just adds some fresh stuff. So I have a buddy of mine. I was quizzing him about this, about the process, is that the California condor and Renee, here's the deal, is that we all need more tanks. Every one of us does. And you can't have enough. Next on Hoarders, his name is Peter, and he has a home full of aquariums. Yeah, well, it's he's like a professor and a farmer, and he's got a lot going on at Allen Bios. He's really good. So the whole process of doing the crosses and doing all that sort of stuff, it's pretty important. Pretty important what we do. You see, Renee, I like the way you think. I like the way you think. Yeah, here's the deal. Hoarding it's one of America's greatest things. I love me some hoarding. Hoard for all. It's but you can see them coming into the house. Do you really need these 40 aquariums in this room? It's really important. It's a scientific study. You're not a scientist. So, Hoarding Guppies, a new Discovery Channel show. Yes. I think I'll start with us. All right, gang. Thank you so much for joining me. And we will do this again Monday night. I'm going to try to get a video or 2 out and go from there, because I need to, and you guys have been requesting stuff. And we'll go from there. So, again, thank you guys so much for watching Mobb Guppy, where the guppy is the mob. Adios!